Hi everyone, welcome back to JPWHUTV. My name is John, your host as always. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying your Easter weekend. The subject of today's video is quite a heavy one, so please bear with me. It's discussing a few FA rules that need to be explained and also the new rules that are coming into the Premier League next season. So it's quite an interesting video this. Now, according to the FA's website, it is not an offence to be in an offside position, yet there are many ways you can be penalised for being in an offside position. So already there are contradictory attitudes, so we say, to this. It says a player is in an offside position if any part of the head, body or feet is in the opponent's half, excluding the halfway line. Well, duh. That goes without saying, but as I say, the second part is more specific. The hands and arms of all players, including the goalkeepers, are not considered. So therefore, if someone's arm is in an offside position, they are not to be deemed offside. It's just not to be taken into consideration. Well, in that case, then we would have had it. Then, as from West Ham's point of view, Nolan's goal against Man City, two of them at home and during the bowling days, should have been given, but they weren't. That's interesting. A player is not in an offside position if level with the second to last opponent or the last two opponents, which basically means Perez's second goal should have stood. A player is in an offside position at the moment the ball is played or touched by a teammate is only penalised on becoming involved in active play by, aka first and second phase rules, by interfering with play by playing or touching a ball passed or touched by a teammate, or interfered with an opponent by preventing an opponent from playing or being able to play the ball by clearly obstructing the opponent's line of vision. Bear with me on this, guys, because there are quite a lot of ors coming up here. Or challenging an opponent for the ball, or clearly attempting to play a ball which is close when this action impacts on an opponent, or making an obvious action which clearly impacts on the ability of an opponent to play the ball, or gaining an advantage by playing the ball or interfering with an opponent when it has rebounded or deflected off the goalpost, crossbar, or an opponent. Now, this is why Perez's first goal, they tried to flag him as offside, because when he was making the run, he was onside. By these rules, gaining an advantage by playing the ball or interfering with an opponent when it has rebounded or being deflected off the goalpost, crossbar, or an opponent, then him running straight away, running for the ball, continuing his run, makes him offside in the second phase. But so therefore, from the balance of probability, yes, one goal was written off incorrectly and one goal was given incorrectly. But at the same time, as I say, you know, it's the balance of, he scored two, he should have only allowed one, but it's still hard. It's still hard to take nonetheless. A player is in an offside position receiving the ball from an opponent who deliberately plays the ball, except for a deliberate save by an opponent, is not considered to have gained an advantage. So it kind of contradicts the previous rules. A save is when a player stops or attempts to stop a ball which is going into or very close to the goal with any part of the body except the hands and arms, unless the goalkeeper is within the penalty area. In situations where a player moving from or standing in an offside position is in the way of an opponent and interferes with the movement of the opponent towards the ball, this is an offside offence if it impacts on the ability of the opponent to play or challenge for the ball. If the player moves into the way of an opponent and impedes the opponent's progress, for example, blocking the opponent, the offence should be penalised under Law 12, which is fouls and misconduct, which I'll come into in a few moments. A player is in an offside position, is moving towards the ball. A player in an offside position is moving towards the ball with the intention of playing the ball and is fouled before playing or attempting to play the ball or challenging an opponent for the ball. The foul is penalised as it occurs before the offside offence. An offence is committed against a player in an offside position who is already playing or attempting to play the ball or challenging an opponent for the ball. The offside offence is penalised as it has occurred before the foul challenge. Basically, players have got to be 100% in the right positions here. Let's put it in a nutshell. It has to be in the right positions. There's no offside offence if a player receives a ball directly from, now this is very, very interesting, directly from a goal kick, a throw-in, or a corner kick. So if you're in an offside position from a corner kick and you score, the goal has to stand. According to these rules, that's exactly what the rules say here. There are other bits and pieces that needs to go on. For example, a defending player who leaves the field of play without the referee's permission shall be considered to be on the goal line or touch line for the purposes of offside until the stoppage in play or until the defending team has played the ball towards the halfway line and it is outside their penalty area. If the player left the field deliberately, the player must be cautioned when the ball is next out of play, which does happen. If an offside offence occurs, the referee awards an indirect free kick where the offence occurred, including if it is in the player's own half of the field of play, which again, yes, that does happen. An attacking player may step or stay off the field of play not to be involved in active play. If the player re-enters from the goal line and becomes involved before the next stoppage of play, or the defending team has played the ball towards the halfway line and it is outside their penalty area, the player shall be considered to be positioned on the goal line for the purposes of offside. A player who deliberately leaves the field of play and re-enters without the referee's permission and is not penalised for offside and gains an advantage must be cautioned. So again, it's down to the referee to be 100% on point the entire time. If an attacking player remains stationary between the goal posts and inside the goal as the ball enters the goal, a goal must be awarded unless the player commits an offside offence or Law 12, i.e. foul or misconduct, in which case play is restarted with a direct or indirect free kick. And that's interesting. So there are quite a lot of things that need to be clarified there, because it is a bit like reading the Bible. There are quite a few contradictions there within itself, but at the end of the day, 95% of the stuff needs to be accurate in order for it to be a clear offside position, and therefore we aren't seeing that yet. Decisions are being made anyway, which is why the video assistant referee is being brought in next season. It's working very well in the Champions League, it's working very well in the FA Cup, it's working very well in foreign leagues as well. The only problem is it's the people that are making the decisions. They need to be 100% on top of that. Right, so talking about the next side of it, right, talking about handling the ball. Handling the ball involves a deliberate act of a player making contact with the ball with either the hand or arm. That's what it should say, doesn't it? It leaves out either, but yeah. The following must be considered: the movement of the hand towards the ball, not the ball towards the hand, and the distance between the opponent and the ball, i.e. an expected ball. Anyway. The position of the hand does not necessarily mean that it is there as an offence. Touching the ball with an object held in the hand, i.e. clothing, shin guard, even your boot, apparently, as it says in a little bit, is an offence. Hitting the ball with a thrown object, boot, shin guard, etc. is an offence. The goalkeeper has the same restrictions on handling the ball as any other player outside the penalty area. Inside their penalty area, the goalkeeper cannot be guilty of a handling offence incurring during a free kick or any related sanction, but can be guilty of handling offences that incur an indirect free kick. Okay. An indirect free kick is awarded if a player plays in a dangerous manner, impedes the progress of an opponent without any contact being made, How many times have we seen the players being impeded, yet the opponent is actually allowed to get away with it? Is guilty of dissent using offensive, insultive or abusive language and or gestures or other verbal offences. Preventing the goalkeeper from releasing the ball from the hands or kicks or attempts to kick the ball when the goalkeeper is in the process of releasing it. Now, it doesn't mention about when the ball is in play, when it's deemed as out of play, which is, but yeah. So, for example, under these rules, that famous Gareth Bale goal that he scored while the goalkeeper was releasing it was outside of the penalty area, therefore was in play. Anybody that does it within the penalty area is not deemed as in play. It doesn't go into that in any shape or form. Commits any other offence not mentioned in the laws for which play is stopped to caution or send off a player. An indirect free kick is awarded if a goalkeeper inside their penalty area commits any of the following offences: controls the ball with hands for more than 6 seconds before releasing it, touches the ball with the hands after releasing it and before it has touched another player. So I can't really see how that would ever come up, but it obviously has over the time. It has been deliberately kicked to the goalkeeper by a teammate, the pass back rule. Receiving it directly from a throw-in taken by a teammate, again the pass back rule. A goalkeeper is considered to be in control of the ball when the ball is between the hands or between the hand and any surface, e.g. ground, own body, or by touching it with any part of the hands or arms, except if the ball rebounds from the goalkeeper or the goalkeeper has made a save. Playing in a dangerous manner. Playing in a dangerous manner is any action that, while trying to play the ball, threatens injury to someone, including the player themselves, and includes preventing a nearby opponent from playing the ball for fear of injury, I should say. A scissors or bicycle kick is permissible provided that it is not dangerous to an opponent. And last but not least, again, talking about impeding. Impeding the progress of an opponent means moving into the opposition's path to obstruct, block, slow down, or force a change of direction when the ball is not within playing distance of either player. We've seen that many times before, as I mentioned earlier. All players have a right to their position of the field of play. Being in the way of an opponent is not the same as moving into the way of an opponent. That's impeding, and that is the difference. If a player stands their ground and a player is running into that player, that is not impeding. The other way round, if a player is running towards a player to specifically block it, when there's no other exit for the player by the sounds of it, then that is when the player is being impeded. So those are the rules that I wanted to talk about, guys, and these are the rules that are coming in for next season, and they're going to start from it being implemented from the 1st of June this year. So every footballer, manager, and obviously official will have to be well aware of this, and I'm sure that everything's going to be fed back to them as well. So the first one to come up on the list is no attacking players in the wall when it comes to a free kick, specifically when there is a wall of 3 or more players. Attackers are not allowed within 1 meter of it. That's very interesting. An attacking player found to be less than 1 meter from the wall when a free kick is taken will be penalised, and the other team will be rewarded with an indirect free kick. The idea behind the change is to avoid time wasting and disturbances between players that may result in physical altercations. The next one, I love the way that's put, it's brilliant. The next one is carrying on from that, in relation to time wasting. When substitutions are made, players must leave the pitch at the nearest point. So from the start of next season, if a player is up at the corner and a substitution is being made, then they can't run or walk. They can't run or walk from the corner to the dugout. They have to walk from the corner and then around the pitch. or they can't run from one side of the pitch to run or walk from one side of the pitch to the other. If they're in the middle, slightly different, but if they are near to the touch line or the goal line, they have to be able to walk from that point. Now that's gonna cause a lot of fans that are subnormal, shall we say, to shout abuse at those players for walking in front of them. But it makes sense. I mean, at the end of the day, you do the same thing if a player is being injured. If a player is injured, and they will be walked round. Not so much. It used to happen quite a lot, not so much now. But this rule is very, very good. The next rule that's going to be coming in is yellow and red cards for coaches. I think this is a fantastic idea. Hopefully, it will keep those gobby little gits in line. It really, really will. So it's just a shame that Mourinho's not going to be here for that, because he would have had red cards all the time. But obviously there is going to be the level of what deems to be a yellow card and what deems to be a red card, and we'll see that when that comes out shortly as well. Goalkeepers must have at least 1 foot on the line when a penalty kick is being taken. As we know, goalkeepers love to run at the very last second before the ball is kicked, and as a result of that, that is now going to be a penalty. That is now going to be penalised. There's also a case coming in, a rule coming in. Sorry, I should say, that accidental. When it comes to handball, accidental offences are deemed as free kicks, which is basically no goal. The changes will mean that there are no goal in cases where the ball accidentally strikes a player's hand before crossing the line. Now, basically it goes back to the natural position. That's and Danny Rose in the Champions League, when he was sliding to keep the ball and his arms went up to counterbalance himself, which is the natural thing to do. That was deemed as giving away a penalty, which it wasn't in any shape or form. And that's those sort of things where the arm is in a natural position and you can't get out of it, i.e. it's an accident, then that's not deemed to be a penalty. It will be deemed as a free kick instead. And the drop ball is also being changed as well. If play is stopped inside the penalty area, the ball will be simply dropped for the goalkeeper. If it is stopped outside the penalty area, the ball will be dropped for a player from the team that last touched the ball. In all cases, players will have to be at least 4 meters, 4.5 yards away. And that's pretty much it from that. So obviously there's some things that I want you guys to let me know your thoughts on. Do you agree with the new rules that are coming in for the start of next season? If you also want to have a look at the fixture video that I did in relation to when the new fixtures are coming out, and also the transfer window and the start of next season, then click on the card that's up here as well. So keep an eye out for that. If you haven't already watched it, there have been some good viewing figures on that. Also, I just want to add a couple of addendums to the post-match reaction to the Leicester game. I wasn't in full view of the facts before I did it. With everything else, I got the only thing two addendums I need to add on that is the fact that the ball passed into Antonio was done by Noble, as I saw from Match of the Day, and Pedro Obiang is the geezer that kicked the ball that deflected off the goalpost that led to Perez's first goal. So thank you very much for your time, guys. If you're new around here, or even if you're not new around here and you've been watching my videos for quite a while, please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bells to get first dibs on the videos. A lot of people are watching the videos, so thank you very much for that. But I would prefer you guys to hit the subscription button as well, because the more views we get, the more subscribers we get, the more exposure this channel gets. If you like the video and you feel I deserve it, then by all means please click the like button. As always, as I said, guys, put your comments in the comment section below. If you want to contact me on social media, you can find me on Twitter, on Facebook, on Reddit, on Instagram, and fanvibe.com. I think that's everything, all under the same username, JPWHUTV. So contact me. I want to hear from you guys. I may also start doing polls on my Twitter account as well. to gauge what you guys are thinking. So the more followers I get, the better it will become, and the better the videos will be as well. So thank you very much for your time. If you're new around here, by all means, as I say, please click the subscribe button. Enjoy the rest of your Easter weekend, and I will see you very soon. All the best. Take care now.